Hello and welcome to Experts Live UK Community Voices. This series is all about the people behind the Microsoft community, their stories and how they got where they are today. In each episode, I sit down with speakers, experts and community leaders from across the Microsoft ecosystem to talk about their journeys, how they got started, what challenges did they face, and what led them to where they are today. So, whether you're just starting out in tech or you're deep into your career, the goal is to share real stories and real lessons and real experiences from across the Microsoft community. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Geoff Ross. Hello, Geoff. Welcome.
Hey, Bruce. How's it going today?
Very well, thanks. Good to have you here with me. And
Good.
of course, we have a very special guest for today, who is Reshmee. Reshmee, hello, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Very excited to be here today, and thank you for inviting me.
Hi,
Thank
Reshmee.
you for
So nice to
being here.
see you. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, I really
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much. Yeah.
So, Reshmee, you are a two times MVP and a modern workplace consultant at Avanade. I'm really interested to sort of delve into your story and find out firstly how you kind of got there. So, if you could please start by introducing yourselves to our listeners to kick things off, please.
Thank you so much. How I ended up being like modern workplace at Avanade, I've been working there for only 18 months, so not that long time ago. And before that, I was more like working for the end customer itself, coming like from a non-consultancy background to consultant again. But that doesn't really mean like before. Yeah, I kind of did only 3 jobs in the UK for for a while. So I started in a small consultancy firm, then moved on the client side, non-consultancy, and back like the consultancy. It's all like different background, coming like from a small one to a big organization. I mean, like my journey, like in tech. I mean, I never really thought I was going to work in tech, even after I finished my six
Sort of
forms, to be
theme on this
honest.
podcast, isn't it? Um,
Seemed to be the
not,
most
not quite
popular
planning to get
accidental
anywhere and
career.
end up. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't have like a computer until like I started going to uni, and I bought my first computer like using my savings, which I had like for my whole life. Just I'm a very young adult, and then like even like in terms of degree, I was not so sure, so I didn't. I did like a management slash information system kind of degree. It was kind of very kind of blended, not like a pure computer science degree. And then after that, it's just I was applying like for jobs, and my first job ended to be as a developer, .NET developer. And then
Interesting.
yeah,
Mm.
So it's
and
quite
then
a journey, isn't it? From developer to effectively IT pro. Talk me through that transition. I mean, probably starting with why, why, why the leap from what you studied at university to .NET development? That's probably a good question to start with.
yeah, I don't think I kind of chose it. I was just randomly applying for any jobs, and like the first opportunity which came, and then like for me, having my first job was like the most important. It didn't matter what it was. And yes, but I really enjoy like the development bit, like coding, and I still do it, even though in my role as a modern workplace consultant, which is working on SharePoint and M365, the level of coding that is required, it's very much less, but I still do it like on the open source side, contributing like to the like Microsoft and the community. We have like the GitHub repository under the umbrella of patterns and practices, PNP. So we have loads under that. So I just like try like to keep up with my skills and still contribute to those, just keeping kind of very active on there. Yeah, and then uh yeah, so and then yeah, so my and then that was like .NET, and then when I came to the UK, my first job was in a small consultancy firm working on SharePoint and Project Server, again as a .NET developer, but kind of blended with SharePoint and Project Server. So it was not like the same where you kind of build solutions from scratch. It's a little bit like a different perspective.
Was that your
And
first experience of kind of that Microsoft sort of end user ecosystem, SharePoint and those sort of tools?
yes, that was the first time. But to be honest, it felt a little bit easier in the sense like Microsoft already had a lot of the elements kind of baked in, for example, authentication, like the libraries, the have a page, or it just needs to know like how to use those to be able like to build solution. It's a little bit like different, but at the same time, it was not that yeah, it wasn't that difficult like to kind of get onto SharePoint or Project Server. And I think it depends like how people learn. And even like I don't know something, like even if I just open like a source code, I would just like look. I don't understand. I would just try like to find patterns and make and try to reason like what it is without properly be able like to explain, but just on a high level, like just see like what it does and be able like to replicate, but without like knowing. That's how like I kind of transition like for example TypeScript. Um, Again, it was more like from open source contribution. I would just like look at the structure of the code, even not not knowing TypeScript at all, but at least could make sense what it's doing in the background and try like to reuse and just like do my own kind of contribution on top of it. Yeah, so and then ever since I've been like that was like on SharePoint 2013, and we have seen on-prem and we have seen like the evolution. Yeah, so when I came to UK, and then yeah, there was like the cloud being Azure, everything was completely new, like on-prem, like the cloud, and yeah, and then there was SharePoint Online, and yeah, now we are living like in a new evolution of the AI evolution. Very excited, like to
Which is
see how.
very cool. Lots of exciting developments there. One thing I really wanted to ask you, so you mentioned that was a blended role. So there's a piece about that which is about using built software and a piece that's presumably about extending it. So does that mean you're effectively building like add-ons for SharePoint? And interesting. What sort of things were you building back then?
Wow, at that time we used to have like what we call like yeah client side solution as well as server side solution. It was like to do different things, and yeah, I remember like we have one paste where we did like site provisioning, but more on the project server element. Like when you spin up a new project, you create a new SharePoint site, and how like to get everything kind of all like based on a particular template, or we would build like different types, yeah, workflows as well. We used to build quite a lot of workflows, but at that time, workflow is not the same thing as Power Automate Flow, where where you needed to use SharePoint Designer, and it was like very hard, especially.
InfoPath. Did you use
Yeah, it was.
InfoPath?
Yeah, it was not portable in the sense that you could export and you can just like import easily. It was kind of quite difficult. Yeah, I think a lot of the element was around just making like the project management side easier, even though it was not like specifically on SharePoint. And then obviously on the client side, when I was working directly for the end client, again, like being involved like in different types of project, like for the intranet rollout, the migration from the file share to the SharePoint 2013 on-prem, and then to online, and then we had a lot of different working on different technology stacks. When we moved to SharePoint Online, like with Power Apps, Power Automate, like to automate different like business processes. It's all like uh, automating for efficiency. and improving the business.
As far as sort of the tools themselves are concerned, so you've seen the whole like on-prem to cloud transformation, certainly speaking for sort of SharePoint. Have there been any big sort of changes or big shifts in that process, or is it very sort of similar on-prem and cloud as far as SharePoint and the tools you're sort of touching are concerned?
Yeah, that was quite interesting because I kind of been on Prime and then suddenly like, okay, yeah, we are moving, and then suddenly like because you're the only SharePoint expert, so you're expected like to do SharePoint online altogether.
Yeah.
It's been like a massive shift. Like SharePoint, like it's not on its own anymore. It's like integrated. It's like with document management layer
Yes.
of the
Yes.
M365. It's a little bit hidden. Um, uh, Understanding like everything is like integrated, like with Teams, if I engage. M365 group and any other components is like SharePoint is just like the backbone. It's like where all your documents, knowledge repository, everything is in there. So it's a little bit hidden, but again, like to understand, like even in terms of the permissions, it's more complex when you have like a team
Yes.
side. You don't have like that concept like on SharePoint on-prem where it's just like simply a SharePoint site on its own.
Yeah, yeah. I think the biggest change surely is going to be the expectations and around it, because like you said, it's gone from being just this sort of
I
siloed
know.
document library to, like you say, the backbone that kind of feeds a lot of stuff. People demanding a lot more from it now, I would have thought.
Yes, yes, and yeah, so that was really yeah, so at least it's kind of like it was quite good, like working like for client for the end client, my previous employer for nearly 10 years. I've seen like the evolution, and it was quite good, like to be part of the transformation we've been like over the last 10 years. But then yeah, it was just like time like to move on and try something else. And that's why I
It's
ended up
always
like
good.
being at Avanade.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
how
just
how do you
getting
find that kind of transition? Because obviously, Avanade are very rather large. How is that different?
um yeah, I'm still trying like to find my way, trying like to know people. It's very hard. Ever since I started, I've been working on only one particular project for one particular client. So it doesn't really feel like much difference. So I'm mostly like going on the client side and not going on like in the office unless there's like some social event happening, and then going like to community events like the Experts Live UK or um, other conferences gives me opportunity to meet colleagues from working on different projects. So
Oh, wow. You attend Microsoft community events to socialize with your own colleagues.
yes,
The live ones
definitely.
also, yeah, no, it can be.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, we do have like the project team, but the project team is pretty much static. A small team working for the client compared to the number of people actually working for Avanade, which which sometimes when I
Yeah.
go like to social even like drinks at the pub, and then I realize like, oh gosh, I don't know so many people here.
Do you feel like you
That
have the
the
kind of
thing
might and resources of that large organization behind you though, and in terms of like expertise or specialists, or do you tend to work in your project team kind of on your own?
It's kind of a challenge, really, because everyone's are kind of busy, like in their own kind of project. But again, there are like venue uh, kind of you could reach out like through some means, mediums like Teams message. Just like generally, we do have like Teams chat. Like you could ask the experts like kind of question and see if anyone will come up with an answer. But most of the time, like either I'll use Google or ChatGPT if it
good
has. I
old
don't know. Or I
sounds
just have
good.
to, or
Hang
I
on, I
just have
thought
to work it.
consultants are experts. They know everything. What's going on here?
No, it's very hard. It's not one of those things. I mean, with the word expert, I feel cringe because I just don't feel like I know everything. We're still learning,
Yeah,
and it's just so hard. Like even I said, like okay, I've done like SharePoint on-prem, and now we have SharePoint online, and then it's just again like all of it technology changes which is happening, and each time I would try like to work like let's say trying things like new things which has been announced from Microsoft Ignite. It and I kind of stuck because some of the things are not really fully rolled out, fully baked in, like for you to start playing with it. And yeah, and no one can help you because you're just like the first one like to be kind of playing with these
So
new
that's
tools.
an interesting thread to kind of pick at. So obviously, Microsoft and all tech companies release new stuff all the time. Would you say you're an early adopter and you like to kick new stuff when it appears? Are you given time to do so by your company? How does that work for you?
No, it's mainly on a personal kind of basis because I'm not like working on any of these new shiny tools like on work, like to kind of justify the time that I'm spending on there. The main motivation is around the speaking sessions, on which I need like to keep up to date. Like I have like upcoming session at Tallinn next week. Uh, and again, it's like on the agents toolkit, and again trying like to yeah, trying the new announcements like at Ignite and to see which bit I could embed like in my speaking session and in my demo. So that's one of the reason why I try like to keep up on the new announcements. Yeah, that's like the main. Otherwise, if I didn't have like a motivation, that probably probably I would still have just read about it, but maybe not essentially play with it because I think I do have a lot. Like if I yeah, there's no time like to get bored really because there's always
No,
something to do
there's
to
always
play with.
something new, isn't there? Always something to learn. That's a good thing about tech. It's one of the things I really liked about a career in tech in general. There's no, you can't get bored. There's always something changing and something coming along.
But it's just like at the rate that things are changing right now, it's
Yes,
a little bit
yes.
overwhelming.
can be.
You don't even have time to settle.
Yeah, you blink and you've missed something that's come along.
Mm,
AI
yeah,
being sort of case in point there, really.
yeah. I just want to go back and pick up on Reshmee said she finds the word expert cringy and slightly awkward on this podcast, maybe. But no, just because that's a really common theme. We've had that with other guests, haven't we, Bruce? Just that
We
kind of idea
have, we
of I'm
have.
expected to know everything. I can't possibly, like we're just saying, yeah, the rate of change of new technology and even what things are called in the Microsoft world and what the icon is, it changes so rapidly. It's a really common theme we've been hearing a lot. That yeah, that kind of feeling of I don't know everything, and that's what the community is all about because no one person can know everything, but as a whole, as a community, we can sort of come together and share knowledge.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just like great if you could like to keep up as well with so many kind of news and also sometimes like if I'm doing something which doesn't require a lot of my cognitive power, when I'll have like something like playing in the background, I'm listening to something while just like working because sometimes yeah, just do multitasking, trying to do many things at a time.
I know that feeling only too well. Yeah. I'm going to move us on, just in the interest of time, to focus on sort of community now. Geoff, I know you had a bunch of questions you wanted to ask in this area, so I'm going to, rather than go into them myself, I'm going to hand over to you to ask them.
Well, I was just going to, yeah, I thought it made sense to transition there as well after that last conversation. Rashmi, you just mentioned that you've got a session at Cloud Tech Talent next week or this week, depending on when this goes out. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Ready with
Um, I've got a little announcement for the listeners. It's not yet announced anywhere else, but exclusively for listeners of this podcast. I can announce that Reshmee will also be speaking at Experts Live UK 2026 in
Very
June,
exciting news.
which we're very excited about to announce that and to have you there. Second time speaker at Experts Live UK, of
Yeah,
course,
third
after speaking
time.
last year.
That's worth sort of digging into. Experts Live. So Experts Live, obviously, we're coming on up to our sort of second full-scale sort of conference. How did you find last time? How did you find the experience?
I did, yeah, so that was like my like the second kind of biggest conference probably I've attended. Like Bletchley was like I don't know if it's the similar size like we could have Bletchley with maybe 500 people attended. I really kind of enjoyed like the venue, which was a little bit of fun at the end of the session, and to be able like to see like amazing speakers like Zoe, Lewis, and Paul Hunt, who were all there. Like the first time seeing them actually presenting, because I kind of started on my attending conference journey, not that long, maybe 1.5 years ago, um, along like when Experts Live first started using doing like the evening like user groups every 2 months. And yes, and then I just like keep attending, and yeah, I never thought like I would ever speak to one of the conference um ever. But again, it was just like as I was exploring like my speaking kind of journey, yeah, and then Experts like being in London, and I live in London, that makes it like really, really convenient. And most of the speaking session I had last year were like in London itself, or the furthest was like Bletchley, that was near Milton Keynes. So yeah, so it's all like it all kind of yeah, it was like the perfect kind of place just to meet a little bit larger audience, to meet more people, and yeah, share my knowledge with my co-speaker at that time, Lee, and as well, yeah, and as well as learn like from all the other amazing speakers. And speaking of obviously to other vendors, which is like can't really forget about them, who kindly sponsored like all those events,
Mm.
because without them it wouldn't have been possible to have like an event which is free. It's really it's yeah, thinking about all the efforts and all the work that goes into organizing it. And thank you like to all the organizers, Geoff, Bruce, Kevin, and the others. It's yeah, it's just incredible. And thank you for all everything that you
You.
do.
We do it
And
for the
looking
Yeah.
love, the
forward.
love of the community.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned other speakers and sponsors. And I just want to call out attendees as well because a
Yes,
big part
indeed.
of what we believe at Experts Live UK is that it's really about everyone coming together. And yes, we're going to have speakers, but the experts, when we're friends experts and Experts Live UK, it's everybody because everybody's got something to share
Yeah.
and everyone's got something to learn. We were just saying, right? You never know
Yeah.
everything.
No.
So
I
yeah,
definitely
what you can
think,
learn off other people, just those little side
yeah,
conversations, queuing for the food or
Yeah.
whatever else can be really valuable, isn't it?
Yeah, even
I
like the
think,
questions that the attendees ask as well. It's just kind of
Yeah, stuff you wouldn't even think to
yeah,
ask, let alone know the
exactly,
answer to.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
I reckon I've probably learned more from attendees on sort of the nuance of something than necessarily from speakers, because speakers know how it works and how it's meant to work. But then attendees are the ones implementing these tools in real life, and they're the ones
yeah,
kicking these
yeah.
things and trying to figure out
And
how they
ac-
actually work.
across all attendees, the breadth of kind of experiences and different scenarios when you're trying to implement stuff is going to be far wider than one speaker can ever have. So
No,
the
no, it's
collective
like
experience is what's
yeah,
what's really valuable, isn't it?
yeah,
Definitely.
Mm,
that's the
So
beauty
one
of
of
having like the conference, the community events, bringing everyone together. It's just like we're all like the collection of brains together, having fun and just talking about
Mm.
similar subjects.
Yeah, well, obviously, fun is also a big part of what we do at Experts Lab UK. And yeah, you mentioned the fun venue last year. We've got another really fun venue this year, Code Node in
We
London.
do.
So that's going to be really exciting. We're looking forward to lots of learning and connecting, but also lots of fun.
If you want a sort of
Definitely.
feel for what that venue is going to look like, Geoff, you posted a video yesterday. Was it yesterday at the point of recording? So 20th of January, taking people around the venue. It's a very cool venue, worth checking out.
Yeah, I think that video
Last
is
year he
available.
did a brilliant video. I'll look and I'll check the video out.
World famous dancing, world famous. I think we should move on from that point.
Yeah, let's move on because I was just going to ask this question, Reshmee. Again, move on from the dancing. I first met you at Experts Lab UK, that very first user group, as you said, and got to know you a little bit. And I assumed that you did this thing all the time, particularly because of your knowledge and experience, and you knew a lot of people as well. But then I learned later on that, like you said, that was sort of your first experience of in-person events. So
hmm
my question, you sort of answered why you came along, maybe sort of location and stuff like that. But my question really is why you kept coming along, because I think you've been to maybe every single event, maybe most, if you maybe it's one or two. But yeah, what's kept you coming along to the Experts Lab UK user groups and conferences?
Yeah. I mean, before the Experts Live, to be honest, I didn't know any other like conferences happening because like the way I've got my MVP, it was mainly like through contributions like to open source projects. Never really met anyone in person. And then I went to the MVP summit after I got my MVP. That was January 2024. And then for the first time, I'm just like meeting other people like Kevin, and then Kevin being
Mm.
one of the organizers. And then he did mention like, oh, you could potentially go like the Converse conference, which is in Weybridge, which is very near my house. I can easily drive to. And then he was like broadcasting about the Experts Live UK together with Angeliki. I was connected to both of them, and then yeah, I saw like, that sounds interesting because I'd never thought of going attending to any of those. It's always, I mean, for me, it's not only that, but being like a mum, like having two daughters, I always like feel a
I
little bit like
understand.
mum guilt. Like I need like to be back home like after work and not just like go elsewhere. But yeah, but my husband took care, so I was all right. Always
I
needed to have
understand.
someone. And
My
yeah,
wife
and then
was wanting to make sure I was back in time for school pickup today, off from this podcast recording. So I carry on.
yeah, definitely. And yes, and then after I attended like the first one, I was really impressed like with the quality of the demo. I remember I think it was like on responsible AI, um, or it was all like agentic AI, the capability of agent, what agents could do. I was like really superb. And I thought like, oh, that was like really interesting. I've learned quite a lot on it, and it was kind of a pleasant occasion. You meet people, have good food, the pizzas, and all like the different snacks provided like by the host. And yeah, and then each time it was hosted, I kind of ensured like if I'm able to go, if I don't have any other commitment, to ensure like I'm coming to the Experts Live because there's always something. I remember attending one on Intune, device management, and all those. It's not something that I work on regularly. But again, it's just like hearing all those concepts and absorbing, and you never know. In one of the discussions, it might come up, and then I think I can say like, "Oh, I know like this company or this people is an expert in that particular area. Maybe they could help." Um, yeah, so it's always like the breadth and depth of the knowledge of each of the speakers, of the experience that each of the speaker, and as Jeff mentioned, um, you kind of know things from a particular lens perspective. even like hearing like from a different speaker on maybe on the same topic or a different topic. It's always good.
Definitely. There are
Wow.
two things you said there I want to sort of go back to. So you mentioned that you got your MVP status for contributions to open source projects. So there's two parts to that. One is there are multiple ways to become an MVP. It's not just about sort of speaking, which is really interesting. It's kind of note for sort of me because I speak on things like this, but I have I haven't got any true Microsoft contributions as far as the session is concerned. But also, I really wanted to find out what exactly those sorts of projects were that you're contributing to.
Um, yes, that's a very good point. One of the thing I would say, like, yeah, contributing like to the GitHub like repository, open source repository, it's like a very quiet kind of contribution. That means like you don't really meet people and people might not know you. So I kind of started like contributing like to the PNP PowerShell. It's and the CLI for M365. It's like two of the most popular PowerShell module you need to know if ever you want to automate, govern anything on M365. We just provide like easy way like to for automation, to be honest. And so these are like the two main one, and the other one is the sample scripts where anything that I might be writing as a script. For example, maybe one of the most popular because I've seen people like referring my scripts quite a lot is around permissions for SharePoint site, like for define like sharing links, deleting or unique permissions on SharePoint side. It's like again permissions again. It's just such a complex topic.
Yes, yes, it is.
And yeah, I've done quite a lot for especially like the Copilot readiness. Yeah, a lot of scripts like to help, but now you have the SharePoint Advanced Management where they try like to provide all those like inbuilt within the SharePoint Advanced Management module, but again have not tried all the new capabilities we have there. But I think last time when I did try it, we had like a limitation. For example, if you want to see the sharing links, it will bring only for the last sharing links created for the last 30 days. But if you use like any of the scripts that I've written, then you have a little bit more control targeting which site and what you want to do, and you can get everything, all the sharing links which has been created since day one, and all the expired sharing links as well, which is really annoying. It doesn't get cleared. Anyway, we can go on.
It's all good, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
then
what?
yes.
No, it's okay. No, there's lots of cool depth. One thing I
It's
want to
cool to
make
hear
sure
your
we
process,
ask you,
Reshmee.
yeah. One thing I want to make sure we ask you before we run out of time is where do
Yeah.
people go to find all these things you've contributed to? We'll stick links in the description to this as well. But where do people go to find this cool stuff?
Yeah, most of the yeah, all these contributions they are like on the PNP adoption sample gallery on the website. It's not only me contributing, but there are loads of amazing contributors adding to them. That's like the main bit. But obviously, I do have my blog posts because I started contributing like sample scripts like from a very long time. We used to have something called the tech gallery, and that got
Yes, yes.
and
Yeah.
that's yeah, it's no more. But then I realized like I should always have a backup of everything I shared because if it's gone, it's gone. So I always have it like on my blog post as well as share
Where
it.
are your blog posts? Well, what's your blog site?
It's just my name, Reshmee Auckloo.
Okay. Nice and easy.
So
Nice and
easy.
easy.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Perfect.
Yeah, just
Um,
my name. Yeah, I
well,
can
that
put it
is.
on the
We'll make
chat.
sure there's a link in the description as well, because obviously that is very important. All these giving people all these cool things they can do, and then where do they go to find them? Of course, good to know. So I'm going to start to bring things to a close. But before I do, one question I really wanted to ask you. You've had a very diverse career spanning sort of software development to start with. And even now, what advice would you give? If you had to give one piece of advice to somebody getting started in tech, what would you give as that piece of advice?
Wow, things have changed quite a lot from when I started to now, like where like all like the new like especially the youngsters, they are more like digitally capable. I would say never stop to learn, because that's something like people would think, like especially in tech, you can't really never stop learning. Always be curious, have an open mind, and the things is what you work on today, you might not work on it in the next 3 or 4 years. You might be working on completely different platform or something completely different. Yeah, so it's just like keep up. I mean, try to keep up,
Yes, never stop
keep learning.
learning. It's
Yes.
very, very important. I agree. Well, Geoff, do you have any closing questions before I bring this to a close?
Yeah, I was just going to ask where else people can, Bruce is going to cover off where people can kind of find you online. You guys all know I'm a big fan of the in person. Where else can people find you in person, Reshmee?
Yes,
Go to Talent next week. Might be short notice for them to get a ticket and a flight out there, but you never know.
You never know.
for a
Obviously, now
challenge.
you're Experts Live UK in June, and I know that everyone listening will be there. Have you got any other thing, sessions where people can come check you
Yeah,
out?
I'm going to Orlando in April. That's for the Microsoft 365 conference. I'll be like probably my third international speaking
Mm,
conference.
wow.
Tallinn's my
Always
second.
good.
Dublin was the first. ESBC Dublin last year. Tallinn this year, starting quite early this time, like in the speaking kind of session, and then later on I have like the one in Orlando. That's
That's
like
cool.
All right. So
That is
anyone heading
cool.
over there can come and see a
I
session.
will.
otherwise,
I'll
yeah,
see
you
if I can
can.
get some flights sorted.
Otherwise, I'm always like one message away, like from LinkedIn. Please free to drop me a message if anything, or just replying on post, or yeah, or in any other. I will try. I think I'm like on the WhatsApp group as well, on a lot of different WhatsApp group that we have for the Auckloo expert questions on different domains like Copilot, Power Platform, SharePoint, and I do people like message me like one to one, like, oh, I need help with that. Please help me. Yeah, I do. If it's easy, if it makes sense, I do reply. Yeah.
All good. Makes total sense. Well, thank you for everything you give to the community. But that brings us
Mm.
to the end of this episode of Experts the UK, Experts Live UK Community Voices. Before we completely wrap up, we've mentioned the full conference, Experts Live UK, on the 11th and the 12th of June. Tickets are on sale. They were as of last podcast, and early bird tickets are still available. They're priced at £219, which is an absolute bargain. I said it last time. I'll say it again. They're selling out fast, and when the early bird tickets are gone, they are gone. So I'd like to say a huge thank you, Reshmee. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your stories and your experience with
Mm.
us. In our next episode, we'll be joined by Yelena, who is an MVP in security and also a solutions architect. So if you have any questions for Yelena, please do send them to us on LinkedIn at Experts Live UK. And if there are any, I'll pick them and I will ask them. And I do hope you've enjoyed today's conversation. If you have, I would love for you to share it with your friends and family, colleagues, pets, whoever is willing to listen. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, Reshmee.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.